Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Nick, and I'm here with Emily, and today we're diving into a topic that so many English learners quietly struggle with: mental blocks when speaking English. You know, that sudden blank moment where you know the word, but it just won't come out. Or when you freeze mid-sentence and your brain seems to shut down completely.
Hey everyone. Yep, we've all been there, that frustrating mental freeze that makes you question everything. You might understand English perfectly, write it well, even think in it, but when it's time to speak, boom. Your mind goes silent, your heart races, and you just want to disappear.
It can feel like your brain is sabotaging you, right? But here's the good news: mental blocks aren't signs of failure or inability. They are signs of pressure, overthinking, fear of judgment, and sometimes just sheer fatigue. And the even better news? You can work through them.
Exactly. So today we'll unpack why these blocks happen in the first place, what's going on in your brain, how your emotions and self-talk play a role, and how to gently break through those walls so you can speak more freely, naturally, and confidently. Because your words are in there. You just need a path to let them out.
Let's start with one of the biggest triggers: fear of mistakes. Many learners hold themselves back because they are afraid of saying something wrong, sounding awkward, or being laughed at. And that fear is powerful enough to shut down your voice entirely.
Absolutely. The fear of making mistakes can trigger what's called a fight or flight response. Your brain thinks you're in danger, not from a lion, but from potential embarrassment. So it freezes to protect you. That's why you suddenly forget simple words, or how to form sentences you know you've practiced.
But here's the thing: making mistakes is not only normal, it's necessary. It's how we learn. Think about how toddlers learn to speak. They mess up constantly, and no one expects them to be perfect. The same goes for language learners at any age.
Exactly. So the key is to create a safe, judgment-free space for yourself. That might mean speaking with patient friends, joining low-pressure language exchanges, or even just talking out loud to yourself at home. Give yourself permission to stumble. The more comfortable you get with imperfection, the less power those mental blocks will have.
Another cause of mental blocks is overthinking. You try to plan the perfect sentence in your head: the grammar, the structure, the pronunciation, and by the time you're ready to speak, the moment's gone.
Right, it's like your brain becomes a traffic jam of ideas. One way to fix that is to shift from planning to flowing. Focus less on perfection and more on connection. Can you be understood? Can you get your point across, even if it's messy? That's success.
And it helps to practice spontaneity. Try short speaking exercises where you talk about a topic for 1 minute without stopping. Don't worry about mistakes. Just go. This helps train your brain to trust itself and stay in motion instead of freezing.
Another mental block comes from comparing yourself to others. You might hear someone else speak English fluently and think, "I'll never be that good." That mindset builds walls. But the truth is, you're not in a race. You're in a process. And your journey is valid, no matter how it looks.
Well said. We'll keep digging into more causes and solutions for mental blocks, including some mindset shifts, breathing techniques, and practical tips to stay present while speaking, right after this next part.
Let's talk about one powerful, but often overlooked technique: breathing. When you're nervous, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid. That tells your brain you're in danger, which only increases anxiety and fuels that mental block. But when you take a deep breath, in through your nose, out through your mouth, you're sending a signal of safety to your brain. You're telling yourself, "Hey, it's okay. You've got this."
Exactly. It may sound simple, but slowing down your breath actually helps bring your thinking brain, the one that knows English, back online. A deep breath before speaking gives your mind a second to reset. Combine that with grounding techniques, like touching something nearby or planting your feet firmly on the floor, and you create calm in the middle of chaos.
And then there's the pressure to say everything perfectly in one try. That perfection trap causes blocks, too. But conversation is a two-way street. It's okay to pause, back up, and try again. Native speakers do it all the time. We rephrase, we pause, we forget words. That's normal. It doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're communicating like a real human.
One thing that can help ease that pressure is scripted practice. Write down simple scripts for common situations, like ordering food, introducing yourself, or talking about your hobbies. Practice them out loud until they feel natural. Then when you face the real moment, it won't feel so unfamiliar. You've already been there in your mind.
That builds confidence through repetition. And that's what breaks down mental blocks over time, not just wishing them away, but gently proving to your brain, I can do this. Bit by bit. Day by day. And if you have a moment where you freeze again, don't panic. It doesn't mean you're back at zero. It just means your brain needs a moment of patience, not punishment.
And let's talk about self-talk for a second. What are you saying to yourself when you freeze? I'm so bad at this. Everyone thinks I sound stupid. Those thoughts feed the block. Instead, try replacing them with kinder, more helpful ones. I'm learning. It's okay to pause. Everyone struggles sometimes. That small shift in inner dialogue makes a big difference.
Totally. And remember, speaking is not just about grammar and vocabulary. It's about emotion. And when you're scared or ashamed, your brain just won't cooperate. That's not a flaw, it's a sign that you need more support, more compassion, and more small, safe wins to build back your voice.
So if you're listening right now and thinking, yes, this is me, we want you to know, you're not alone. Mental blocks are part of the process. They don't mean you're not good enough. They just mean you care, and that you're learning something that matters deeply to you.
And that's something worth honoring. We'll keep sharing ways to work through those frozen moments and build the courage to speak up, with your own voice, at your own pace. Keep breathing, keep showing up, and keep being kind to yourself through it all.
Another thing that can really help is building a low-pressure speaking habit. What do we mean by that? Well, instead of only speaking English when you have to, like in a meeting or a test, create moments where you choose to speak, without any pressure to be perfect. That might be talking to yourself in English while doing chores, reading a paragraph aloud, or even recording voice notes to describe your day.
Yes. That kind of practice builds muscle memory for speaking. You start to feel more natural forming sentences, more used to hearing your own voice in English. And because it's just for you, there's no judgment, no pressure, your brain can relax. And a relaxed brain is a learning brain.
Also, don't underestimate the power of visualization. Athletes do this all the time, they imagine themselves performing with confidence before the real event. You can do the same with English. Picture yourself entering a conversation, staying calm, remembering your words, laughing if you make a mistake, and carrying on.
That's such a powerful tool. Because when you imagine success instead of fear, your brain starts to believe it's possible. And once your mind believes you can do it, your body follows. You'll walk into those real situations with a little more confidence each time.
And another gentle reminder, your value doesn't decrease just because you get stuck while speaking. Struggling doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're doing the work. Everyone, even fluent speakers, have moments where the words just won't come. What matters is how you respond in those moments.
Absolutely. So next time you feel frozen or blocked, instead of forcing yourself through it with frustration, try this: pause. Breathe. Acknowledge how you feel. And then start again, slowly, kindly, patiently. That's how you teach your brain it's safe to try again. That's how you create space for growth.
And speaking of creating space for growth, one practical tip we love is using sentence starters. These are phrases that help you begin a thought more easily, especially when you're feeling stuck. For example, I think that, in my opinion, or one thing I've noticed is. Having a few of these ready in your mental toolbox can make it easier to keep going when your brain wants to freeze.
Right? It's kind of like giving your brain a little push, a direction to move in. And over time, you'll find that you need them less and less, because your confidence starts to grow naturally. But at the beginning, they're like a bridge, helping you get from silence to speech.
Another underrated strategy is writing out your thoughts before you speak. Not because you have to memorize anything, but because writing can help untangle the messy ideas in your head. You could write a journal entry, a short paragraph about your day, or even just 5 sentences using new vocabulary. Then, read them aloud. This trains both your mind and your mouth to work together more fluidly.
Yes, and that process helps shift you from overthinking to doing. A lot of mental blocks come from fear of not being good enough. But action, even small action, starts to change that story. You go from "I can't speak" to "I said something today. I'm trying." And that matters.
I also want to point out how important it is to acknowledge progress. Too often, English learners only notice their mistakes, not their wins. But every time you speak when you're nervous, every time you try a new word or ask a question in English, that's progress. That's courage. You're rewiring your brain in real time.
And that kind of self-recognition builds inner trust. You start to believe in your ability to face the discomfort and still keep going. And the more you do that, the less scary it becomes. It's not about being fearless, it's about being brave while still feeling fear. That's real strength.
Let's talk about breath. It's simple, but powerful. When your brain freezes while speaking English, your body usually tightens up too. You might hold your breath or start speaking too fast. So one way to break the block is to just pause, take a slow, deep breath, and reset your pace. This sends a signal to your nervous system that says, "Hey, we're safe. We've got this."
Yes. Pausing is not a sign of weakness, it's actually a communication skill. Even native speakers pause to gather their thoughts. So when you pause, breathe, and then continue, you're not failing, you're speaking with intention. That mindset shift can really help reduce the pressure you put on yourself.
Something else that can ease mental blocks is speaking to yourself out loud in English when no one's watching. I know it sounds weird at first, but it's actually one of the most effective ways to train fluency and reduce fear. Talk to yourself while making breakfast, walking, or getting ready for bed. No pressure, no judgment, just flow.
Exactly. And the beauty of that practice is that it removes the fear of being judged. You can experiment, make mistakes, try again, and it's all yours. That kind of safe practice builds fluency and confidence without stress. Then, when it's time to speak with someone else, your brain already knows, "We've done this before."
And let's not forget the value of connecting with kind people. If you're always practicing in situations that feel stressful or competitive, your brain learns to associate English with anxiety. But if you surround yourself with patient friends, tutors, or even language exchange partners who make you feel safe, your confidence grows naturally.
Yes, language is emotional. So we need emotional safety to unlock our best speaking skills. Encouragement, empathy, and laughter, they are not just nice extras. They are the foundation. That's why it's totally okay to walk away from conversations or environments that make you feel small or ashamed. Your mental well-being matters more than perfection.
So, if you've been struggling with those mental blocks, the freezing, the blank mind, the fear of sounding wrong, just remember, it's not because you're bad at English. It's because you care. You care about being understood. You care about doing well. And that's actually a strength.
Absolutely. And the more you give yourself space to breathe, to pause, to mess up without punishment, the more your brain will learn that speaking English is safe, not scary. Progress happens when you're kind to yourself.
So go easy on your mind. Take that pressure off your shoulders. Speak a little every day, even if it's just to yourself. Surround yourself with safe, encouraging voices. And when a block shows up, don't fight it, meet it with calm, not panic.
Because you're not broken. You're just learning. And you're doing better than you think. Thanks for spending this time with us. We're proud of you for showing up, for sticking with it, and for being brave enough to grow.
We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep breathing, keep speaking, and remember, you're not alone in this journey.